Hi, Dr. Bridget here with another prescription for success, and today I'm going to talk about something that's more about the structure of language and how to increase the flexibility of your language. So why would it be useful to increase the flexibility of your language? Well, I expect you've got certain people that you have regular conversations with, that you just have the same conversation and get the same result, or maybe that you might feel on different pages. So for instance, I am a fairly big picture person, so you'll find me talking in quite vague concepts, and if I meet up with someone who's quite a detailed person, then my head starts to hurt. I sort of get a bit of a fog going around in my head, and it then starts to hurt. And so I've got a preference for vague sort of language. And I'm guessing that people who are detailed find me quite difficult to deal with as well, because sometimes on courses I might not finish a sentence, or I'll just say something vague and people won't know what I'm on about. So it's really useful in those circumstances, and it's also useful to either be able to negotiate or gain agreement with people, so that's up at a big picture level, or to solve problems at a lower sort of detailed level. So I'm not going to go through the questions on the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them on the blog, and I'm going to give you an example now of how you might want to use flexibility in your language. So if, say, I had a problem, I had a client who had a problem, I just want to get more clients. So it's a fairly sort of what I call middle range statement. It's also got something in it which I call a comparative deletion, which is more. So getting more clients doesn't really mean anything to me, it probably doesn't mean anything to them, and it probably doesn't mean anything to anyone else, because they all interpret that differently. So if you were going to chunk up and say, well, what's the purpose of getting more clients? So they might say, well, I feel really motivated when I've got more clients. And then I could say, well, what will that give you, that motivation? And they'll say, well, it'll make me feel really successful, and it'll make me feel like going out and getting even more clients. And I'll say, well, what will that give you, or what's the purpose of that? And they'll say, well, so that I can support my family, so I can go on holidays. And then what's the purpose of that? So that you feel like you've reached your full potential and you are where you are in the right place in your life. So just from getting more clients, going up to having what you want and reaching your full potential is what I call chunking up. And the questions are, so what will that give you, and what's the purpose of that? On the other hand, if we're going lower or down into the detailed level, so getting more clients, well, how many? Because more doesn't mean anything. So how many clients specifically? So perhaps who specifically? So how much are these clients going to be paying you? And, how often are you going to do this? So you're getting more and more specific all the time, and that enables you to create your goals and be really specific about that, at the same time as realising that it's all for the purpose of reaching your full potential and supporting your family and having the rightful place in the world. So I'll put the questions in the blog below and give it a go. So if someone says, oh, let's think, I'm going to do some videoing today, well, how many videos are you going to do, and what are they going to be about, and what's the content of them, so that we're really clear about that, and what's the purpose of these videos? Just to raise your awareness of what I do, to raise your awareness of who I am, and that in turn enables me to work with more people across the world. So it's quite a big thing. So give it a go. Just notice what people are saying and ask the questions. If you have any problems, or you want to ask me anything, give me a shout. We teach all of this on our NLP course. It's absolutely fascinating, great fun, and it gives people huge amounts of flexibility to solve the problems and gain agreement. Really, really useful. So I'll put a link to my course as well here. Okay, so hope that's been helpful. I shall see you next week. Bye.